Okay, so question number 6 is to draw the Lewis structure for sulfur trioxide. Include all resonance structures. Okay, so when drawing out the Lewis structure, we need to first find out the total number of valence electrons in our molecule. So sulfur contains 6 valence electrons, and oxygen also contains 6, and there are 3 oxygen atoms, so we multiply this by 3, and we end up with a total of 24 valence electrons. So now let's draw sulfur as our central atom, and then I'll just draw 3 bonds to oxygen, like so. And all of the oxygen atoms will be double bonded. So this is because sulfur is one of those exceptions where it is able to have more than 8 electrons in its valence shell. And in the case of oxygen, all the oxygen atoms will prefer to have the double bond so that they can have a full octet as well. So now let's count out all the electrons in the structure to make sure that we have 24. So each bond contains 2 bonding electrons, and each oxygen has the 4 lone pairs. So we have 24 shown in this molecule. So now let's try to calculate formal charges. So the equation for formal charge is the number of valence electrons minus the number of non-bonding electrons minus the number of bonding electrons divided by 2. So all of our oxygens are the same. They have 6 valence electrons, 4 non-bonding electrons, so these are in the form of the lone pairs, and then each of them have a double bond, so we have 4 bonding electrons in total divided by 2, so all of the oxygens have a 0 formal charge. Now let's do the same thing for the sulfur. Sulfur has 6 valence electrons, and there are 0 non-bonding electrons. And for bonding electrons, there are 6 bonds, so we have 12 bonding electrons in total divided by 2. So the sulfur also has a formal charge of 0. So we know that the structure is correct. And since there are since all the oxygens are the same, this is the only resonance structure for this molecule. So now let's see what the junior tutor said. The molecule consists of 1 sulfur, 3 oxygens. Both have 6 valence electrons. So if you count out all of the electrons that the junior tutor said, let me double check. You end up with 26 when we should only be having 24 valence electrons. And also, these oxygens will have a negative charge. Yeah, so all the oxygen, these two oxygens that are single bonded will have a negative charge. And if we calculated it for the sulfur, it would be 0. Yeah, it would be 6 minus 2 minus 4. But since the sulfur would be 0 and the two oxygens would have a -1 charge, then the overall structure would have an overall -2 charge. But for our question, the molecule should only be neutral. So this solution is incorrect. Okay, so I said that this solution is incorrect. The central sulfur atom will have 3 double bonded oxygens. Should have 3 double bonded oxygens. The structures drawn will have a net. The structures shown. Structures shown have a net charge of -2, and the total electrons are 26 when it should only have 24 electrons. The central atom should have 3 bonded oxygens for the correct Lewis structure.